Hey guys and girls, I'm James and welcome to the channel. Today we're taking a look at this Flyhal FX-1, which this is really the same drone as the MJX Bugs16, which I respect Captain Drone a lot. And last year he called this the best beginner drone, especially in the wind. And Half Chrome called this the best beginner drone. Do I think this is the best beginner drone? No, I think this is the best beginner drone. Start with the little micro mini until you get the orientation of a drone before you buy something like this. As men, we always want the best, and you might want to run out and buy something like a Maverick 3 or something. But most people that do that and they don't know how to fly a drone, they come home with something like this. So this is a really good second drone or first really good camera drone to see if you like drones. So this review is going to go over two things: this drone and flash deals on Bangood. Right now this is $309 on Bangood for the Fly More combo, but I bought this 2 months ago for $139. I completely made a video about it. Then when I went in last night to pull a photo for the thumbnail, I realized it went back up. So I should have made it 2 months ago. But that's why I want to email this, guys. On my giveaways, I've always had people leave comments underneath, and that's how you enter it. Well, now I want people to email me. One, to get rid of the scammers, and two, so I watch for things like this. If I see a fantastic deal on a drone, I'll send you an email no more than once a month, and I promise I won't give your email out. So that's how we're going to do the giveaways from now on. You just email me, and then you're entered, and then I'll put you on an email list. And let me know if you want to see when I find incredible deals like this. For $139, I should have bought all of them. Because if you'd have told me, James, I want a camera with a 3-axis gimbal, brushless motors, 20-minute and some flight time. I want it to come with a really nice case. I want it to be foldable. I want it to have follow me, point of interest, 4K camera, lights, optical flow sensor, light on the bottom. You know, you get the point. And I want all that for $140. I'd have said, well, I'll make you better looking and younger while I'm at it too, but it does exist. But not now. So the MJX Bugs is a little bit cheaper right now. I love the way this thing clicks. So the MJX Bugs, I think, is $292, and this one's $300. But it goes up and down. That fluctuates a lot more. On Amazon, the prices don't fluctuate a lot, but on Bangood they do. So you got to keep your eyes open on there. So I'm going to take it out. I'll fly it. I'll let it follow me on my motorcycle. I'll show you how good the camera is. I'll show you how good the gimbal works and everything. And then I'll come back in. We'll go over all the functions of the drone, how to get the camera working, and then I'll come back for my final review. So let's go put her up in the air. Put her up. Make sure we're in high speed. Kind of let it get its bearings. Yep, we're in high speed. So the first time you take off any drone, don't just take off. Go up to about 10 feet, make sure that it gets a good return to home set through the satellites. Make sure everything's functioning correctly. If it starts toilet bowling a little bit, where it's spinning around in circles, means you didn't get a good calibration. You could have been near metal. So even rebar in the concrete can mess with it. So reset it, make sure you're not doing it on the bed of your pickup. Also, you want to check to see how windy it is. If you look right here, I go to the UAV forecast. If you look, it's 12 miles an hour with gusts to 26. But that's not to be confused with the B4U Fly app, which is a really good app to go to make sure that you've got authorization to fly, because these are not geofenced. Like some drones will say you can't fly here, but be sure and make sure you're going under all the FAA regulations. And if you're not, then you can apply for a Lance, but that's another video for another day. So now that I feel comfortable, it's time to send it off and see what she can do. Man, the picture on the camera looks really, really good. So every drone flies a little bit different, and they seem to have their own little quirkiness. So it's good to fly it around, kind of get used to the way it feels, even if you've flown 100 drones. Like this one descends really slow, but that's common with a lot of them. So you just got to keep all that in mind. If you're really high and your battery's getting low and you want to come back down. I read about so many flyaways because they don't kind of test the drone and get the feel of it before they try to send it out. The best thing I can say about this drone, Captain Drone was right. This thing is rock solid in the wind. It performs very well. Take a couple pictures. So I didn't edit these pictures at all. It seems to be oversaturated. I mean, a little bit too much color, but you could always change that in post edit. But the video seems to be really good. So there's orbit flight. All right, to get any of the multifunctions work, you hit the 4 little dots above the return to home, you swipe to the right, and it'll start orbiting. I did not point the gimbal down on this one. I wish I would have. You can also go into the settings, which is that little gear in the top right hand corner, and make it a larger orbit to orbit around a house, a party, your boat on the lake, anything like that, and you can get a better video. I'm just kind of testing it to see how it works. Also on the camera, I should have made the frame rate higher. That's why it's kind of choppy. I should have set that better. And so here I'm gonna do follow me, and I swipe to the right. And here I'm just walking. I'll show you in a minute on my motorcycle. It does really good. I like the way it kind of stays behind me. And this is recorded from the app. So this is only 1080p. It's a little bit better when you record to the SD card and things like this. So it does a really good job. It's not real choppy. It turns really slow. I like that. Some of the follow me's, they just kind of turn right real fast, but this is doing a really good job. One thing to consider also, this drone does not have obstacle avoidance. So if you're not watching it and you walk behind a tree, it's going to smash right into it. Another thing you might want to do is just have it higher than anything else around you. Even on your return to home, make sure your return to home settings are set higher than anything else around you, and pay attention. There's no drone I trust if it's following me other than the Skydio 2. Even all the DJI drones. I mean, there's a lot of drones in trash cans because they were trusting the obstacle avoidance on follow me. But the Skydio 2 works really well. It doesn't fly real good with the remote, but as far as what it does to fly autonomously, nothing else is any better than the Skydio 2. All right, so I'm gonna try return to home. I'm gonna back it up about right there, and I'm gonna hit return to home and see how it does. All right, so she's going up. Actually, that's too close to that brick if it's gonna wanna, where it took off. So the best thing about return to home as a beginner, if you ever panic, you don't know which way it's going, you get started getting confused, just hit return to home, and then you can take back over the drone. Wow, look at that. Guys, that's like 2 feet. So that was pretty impressive. So I go down the block and try to find a spot that doesn't have a lot of trees. I set it just a little bit higher than this tree. Probably should even went a little bit higher, but my visual observer's not watching like he's supposed to. He's watching me. So I go about 15 miles an hour, and it does really good. Again, like I mentioned when I was walking, it's not real choppy. So it's very impressive with the price of this drone and everything that it has to offer. The link is below if you want to buy it on Bangood. I did buy this with my own money. They have no input from Flyhal or Bangood, but if you do use the link, I don't get paid, but I get Bangood points, so I can get more drones. I can review them, and then I give them all away. So please use the link below. Also, if you're getting something out of this, please like and subscribe. Guys, I'm really impressed with some of these drones. You know, I know some of the DJIs are better, but there's a lot of problems with DJI right now being blacklisted by the government and all kinds of things, and police officers and fire departments are not allowed to use DJI anymore. We'll see how all that changes in the time to come. But right now, if you're looking for better options in the $300 price range, this one's got to be right up there. I mean, even the DJI minis don't have follow me. They do if they use the Litchi app, but you have to use Android, and I have a lot of problems with the Litchi app. So here I'm going to take it and land it. And guys, so let's go inside. I'm going to show you how to use the app and all the different functions of the drone and how to use it. Be sure and go over and know all of this before you ever put a drone up in the air. All right, so let's see what it weighs in at. It's a really heavy drone. It's very surprising. It weighs in at 607 grams. I mean, this thing feels like a rock. It's really solid, which really compared to like the Air 2S, weighs in at 575, so it's a little bit more than the S2S. I have to weigh the Maverick 3 upside down, but not quite as much as like the Maverick 3 at 873. When I saw this on the internet, it was the same price point as this F102, and I thought they were about the same size, but they're the same price point. I mean, this thing weighs in 309 grams, so it's almost half the weight of this, and these are the same price. The main thing, and I'll point it out later, is the quality of the gimbal. I mean, this 3-axis gimbal just feels so solid. Like, it's very, very well made professionally. I mean, there's no toyness to it. Like on this one for $139, which I was really impressed with it. It's only a 2-axis gimbal, but it just feels like it's a toy. So how much is 607 grams? Well, 607 grams is the weight of not one, but 2 delicious adult mango beverages. Oh, wait a minute, not quite 2. It's the weight of almost 2 adult beverages. All right, so it comes in this really nice case. It has a nice Nice handle. I mean, it has a really nice pleather feel to it. When you open it up, it's going to come with extra props. They are labeled A and B. So if you replace these, make sure you get the right ones in the right place. It does come with a handy dandy screwdriver because it takes 2 little screws to replace these props. Be sure to check those if they're damaged. It comes with 2 of the USBs. Even though it only comes with 1 battery, it does come with 2 USB cables, because I got the only one I saw available was the one with the 1 battery. And be sure if you're going to store it for a long time to put this in between the battery and the drone, because that way it's not connected. So it does come with a quick start guide and a really big, thick, thorough instruction manual. We'll get to that in a minute. It's the same remote as a lot of Holy Stones use, and I've seen other drones use this remote. It takes 2 AA's in the back. One of these antennas is real, one of them is not. It unfolds, and I really like this knob over here doesn't turn, it doesn't do anything, but this one over here moves your gimbal up and down. This is your takeoff and landing button. This is your speed button. It has high and low speed. And then a long press turns the light on the bottom, which is really nice. Here's where you put your phone in, all the way up to get this thing to clip down. This unlocks and starts the motors, and I make it a good habit of every time I turn the remote on to push down on it and pull over. I learned that a long time ago. Then over here is a short press to take a photo, long press to take a video, and this is your return to home button. And again, that's different than the takeoff and landing. This will make it land wherever it's at. So be careful when you push this one to make it land, because it's going to, even if you're over water or wherever it's at, it's going to land. And this one will bring it back to where it took off, as long as you have the GPS. So if you're outside, go straight to speed 2. If you're in low speed, if you're a beginner and you want to start out in low speed, that's great. So on the drone, it folds up like the Parrot Anafi. Like I said before, I mean, this thing, the way it clicks and everything, it just feels really solid. And I like the battery. It doesn't slide into like a compartment. When you push this button, it's actually like half the drone. And it does charge. It's an intelligent battery, so it just charges with the USB-C put in the side. It takes about an hour and a half to charge. It says 28 minutes. After about 22, 23 minutes, this went down to 1 bar on the remote, and I don't like to fly when it's down that low. So you press down, and this battery turns on. It'll also turn on the battery, so you can actually run the battery down by leaving this turned on. So be sure and turn it off. And also, if you want to check it, right now it's fully charged, but if you want to check it, you just touch it. How many dots will tell you how much the battery charges, because it doesn't give you a battery percentage on the remote. It just tells you 1, 2, or 3 bars on the remote and on the battery. And this is a really powerful battery. It's a 3200 milliwatt amp per hour battery, kind of like compared to the Air 2S is a 3500. So it's got a lot of power built into it. So to put it back on, you got to put it back down and then slide it in. Of course, they are brushless motors. And then in the front, you fold these 2 down. Just like all drones that have these type of gimbal guards, they're a pain to take off and put on. You gotta pull it, you gotta push this in and pull it out like this. So, like I've just mentioned, this gimbal really feels solid, very well made. It almost feels like steel, but I'm sure it's just a really hard plastic. The SD card goes in right here. It's got lights in the front, a light in the back, and then you can turn the light on and off on the bottom. And these are your optical flow sensors that keeps it when it's landing to know how close to the ground is. So to turn the drone on, like I said, you press down. Gives you that really cool sound. Turn the remote on, press down, hold on. You can see it, you can tell it's connected by seeing the reading on the battery right here, and then it's connected. Here's your height, your distance, and the GPS. Here's the number of satellites. We're inside, we're in mode 2, and it's on high speed. You see, and if you see this right here, it's asking for a compass calibration. What a compass calibration is if you get in your car and you start to drive off on and you have your GPS on, the GPS does not know the front of your car, so it waits until you start driving, and then it knows which direction you're going. Well, the same thing with this drone. The GPS doesn't know which is the front and the back, and you can't take off on a drone and then let it decide. It needs to know before it takes off, and it needs to know how high it is. So if this light's blinking, What you want to do is do 3 rotations this way. 3, that might have even been 4. And the way this is built, it's really easy to do 3 this way. And you saw the light just went off. So the light's off, so now the compass is calibrated. But there is one more step. So you might want to make yourself a pre-start checklist. Also, if it ever starts to malfunction with the GPS, like toilet bowling or something like that, you can turn the GPS and bring it off. Or it ever seems to be flying away because of some kind of interference, you can just turn the GPS off and then fly it manually. But you want to use this outside all that you can. But again, so point the drone away from you. So the satellites know which is the front and the back of the drone now and how high it is, but the drone doesn't know what's level. So set it on a level surface and you got to set your gyros. So pull down and to the right on both joysticks. So I'm going to fly the drone with my phone, but I'm going to show you how to use the app on my iPad. So what you want to do is go to your quick start guide, and it uses the MRC Pro, which is a really good app. A lot of drones use that one. So you want to open your camera, go to the correct, download the app, MRC Pro. Once it's downloaded, you can open it and you could hit start. But it's not gonna work because it's not connected, because this is a Wi-Fi drone. So go back to your Wi-Fi, look for 4K drone, I think it says, drone 4G. Once it's connected, then go back to the app. And now, it doesn't know where we're at on the GPS. This is the first time I've used it. It says weak GPS up here, but now the camera works. And on the remote, I can move the gimbal up and down. So on the app, if you ever wonder where you're at, you can click on the map. This again shows you the battery on the drone, the battery on the remote, your signal. This one you can put on 3D glasses, and you can also flip it upside down. So if you ever turn it on and the picture's upside down, you want to hit that button right there. This button here will take you back to your photos and videos. This one takes a picture. This one takes a video. This one moves the gimbal up and down if you don't want to use the remote. Here's your camera settings. You can shoot in 4K or 1080p. And then here, you can set your brightness. You can leave it on auto and your white balance and set your frame rate. It's real important to format your video card. So if you ever get back and there's nothing on it, put the video card back in, reformat it, and fly it again. And sometimes when you land it and it's not there, it's because you turned the drone off too soon and it didn't have a chance. So sometimes when you put the video card back in and leave the drone on for a minute, then all of a sudden your footage will be there. So this is your return to home, and this is your takeoff. And then right here is the follow me, the orbit flight, and headless mode. Don't ever use that. And on the orbit flight, that's the one it'll circle. It doesn't circle you, it just circles wherever it's at. It'll rotate around that. And then this is the follow me, and I showed you how good that works. So this was the settings on the camera, but the settings for the drone is up here. So your max flight altitude is off right now. If you want to turn it on, you can set it, to 120 meters. That means that you don't want to go over 500. I would leave 400. 120 meters is like 400 feet. So leave that on. Same thing with max flight distance. I like to set that and not to where it doesn't go past 400 feet, because that's about the beyond visual line of sight. If you want to go a little bit further than that, just turn that off. This is important. This is your orbit centimeter. That's the drone telling me turn me off or turn me on. If you want to start your compass calibration, you can do that, and your gyro calibration right here. You can do that also instead of using the remote. And then it has a flight log, and this is your zoom in and zoom out. All right, she's telling me to turn her off or do something. All right, so let's go back for our final review. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching my review of the MJX Bugs16 Flyhal FX-1. What do I think about it? Guys, I think it's a really solid drone. I mean, it holds really well up in the air, even when it's windy. The gimbal worked perfectly. The color saturation was really good. Video didn't seem like a true 4K, but it's really good enough for TikTok, YouTube, family vacations, things like that. Could you make a living with the video? No, but it works really good. The flight time was really good. They say 28 minutes. I was getting about 20, 22 before that went down to 1 dot, and I don't like to fly them down to the end. I like to land them when it comes down to 1 dot. I'm used to the remote with all the Holystone drones, so that works really well. Do I think it's the best drone out there for $300? I still think the DJI Mini SE is still the best drone out there for $300. And that's with 1 battery, because this is a Wi-Fi drone. So you're only going to get a few hundred meters, but that's at the end of your line of sight anyway, which is really as far as you can fly legally in the US. I still think this wins in the top 300 range, but this is still a really good option. Nice to have good options, right? And guys, let me know if you have one, if you like it, and if I would have sent you an email and this was $139, would you have bought one and been happy that I sent out that email? So guys, if you got something out of this, please like and subscribe. Subscribers mean everything to me in this channel. Now that I got my studio set up, I'm going to have a lot more reviews coming out of some really good drones, really good budget drones, kind of staying with the same theme, and I'll see you in the next one.